Good morning, everybody. Just give me a moment. I see you. I see you. Oh, okay. Let's just get the. Good morning. Blessings to Psalms 146. Good to see you. Blessings, Miss V. Good to see you. Everything is Irie. Yes, it is. Just got my tea ready. Had a little spill, so I had to go and get that sorted out. But I'm here. Oh, but I got up wrong. No, I didn't get up wrong. I think when I went to go check on the girls, and now I don't know. I have a crick in my shoulder. Oh, God, so annoying. It's so annoying. I'm trying to. So I don't know. Sorry, something's just didn't align right. It needs to crack. It needs to crack. Oh. Hold on, let me crack. You don't have to see me cracking my shoulder. That did not. Yep. I was doing my morning chores for them, and I didn't pull anything heavy, but sometimes you just pull something just to the wrong angle, and that's it. And then they broke an egg this morning and upset my spirit, so they're very rude. The one day I decided, hey, morning, uh, Texas Lala and Willie Sir Just Jam. I um, I was up, but I did not get up and outside until 8 o'clock. But I was up, and they had food, they had water. I got out there, and two nesting boxes. One had one egg, the other one had a hen in there. I think it was Pepper. I think it was Becky. And she looked at me. I looked at her, and she could tell. She's like, "Mm-mm," because usually they would peck me if I go get the eggs from under them, and she didn't. So they broke one again. So that's two this week. I don't know what's going on. I'm fighting her what for the nesting box, but these eggs are becoming a rare commodity because people want to buy their eggs from me. I'm having some tea from the garden, some basil with mint. Don't ask me which mint. I have peppermint. Took some of that, and then the one that just says mint, which I actually like better than the peppermint, and the basil, and a little sprig, tiny little sprig of rosemary, and some brown sugar. So that's how my morning started. I want to just have a lazy morning because I'm always outside by about 6:30. Then I go out again after 7, and I collect the eggs like one at a time because they keep breaking them. But this morning I'm like, okay, that should be fine. It's all good in the hood. No. Morning, G Mama. And they're fighting. They're getting noisy. So I got up and put the radio on a little louder to cover up their sounds and let them out into their run. Morning, Jason. How's it going? I saw you yesterday on African. You came on the camera. I was in the bushes, but I saw you. And hope you guys are having fun at the RGGs. I think it's today. Yeah, today the concert. I think today's the concert. But yeah, these girls are out of hand. But I have just random stuff to talk about, and I'll drop the link as well before I forget. Random stuff. Oh, my shoulder. If you hear me crying in pain, it's not painful, but it's very uncomfortable. You're heading back. Okay, you're heading to the range now, and I'm waiting for you to drop your guys' videos to show you guys what happened while you were there. Sounds like a blast. Um. Okay, hi Shanna. I still can't think of names for our girls except for the darkest one. My husband named her Canela, which means cinnamon. I had 4 of them named. The other 2 didn't get named till after maybe the second month because I was trying to get to know their personalities and I wanted them to be like similar, like frickin' frack, but not frickin' frack, but because the 2 barred rocks. So I ended up going with a Cookie because one of them reminds me of Cookie Lyons, the character on Empire, and then Biscuit because Biscuit has a curly toe, a crooked toe, like a croissant. So, it took me a while to get some names, and I had some names, but it just didn't fit. It fit, but it didn't. I don't know. It just didn't feel right. So some of them take your time, but Pepper and Becky, they were quite obvious, and Clover and Redding, Redding is nosy. Clover's nosy too, but those two are actually good. They're good birds, and they get sometimes they get bullied. Like I said, that she was getting bullied, but hey, Sassy, um, you get to know your animals. Just observe them and watch how they move, and then funny enough, the two red ones, which are not my favorite breed, are the ones that come first when I'm outside. They come to the gate first. They come like they are the ones that are very, friendly, and they let me pet them. The barred rocks will not let me touch them with a 10-foot pole. They're very, careful, cautious. Maybe if you have them as chicks, that's not a problem. But hey, Nikki, good morning. Good morning, Tara. If you have animals as chicks, I guess it's better. But to be honest, I'm kind of forcing myself onto them because I have to inspect them and make sure that, they're healthy. And I have to be able to look through their feathers as well. So they'll do that. But one of them scratched me. So I need to make sure I wear long gloves. But that's just their personality. Some birds, even if you have them as chicks, from what I've seen, they they don't like to be handled as much. And let me just keep up with the chat today. So good morning, everybody. If I missed somebody, I probably looked away for a second, but we got a bunch of footage, but it's hard to edit because of the. Yeah, no, don't edit it there. I don't. Yeah, when you get back home and you have hotel Wi-Fi is intentionally not made for that because they know people be uploading and broadcasting. Okay, Tara's listening and repotting. Girl, I gotta repot my indoor pots. So Starduster, oh my good to see you. You had me crying this morning, man. But mad love to Starduster. We're praying for you. Is this a heart? We're praying for you. And just take your time, man. Take your time. Thanks for the transparency. Sometimes, we're doing good, but we need to be as you said, monitored. So check out Starduster's video to know what I'm talking about. You go to her channel and watch it yourself, as she shared her story this morning. But to guard to the chickens, so the chickens are okay. They're doing well. They're not noisy, but in the morning they're a bit noisy. They're a bit demanding, but that's what it is. But they're not really a lot of maintenance. There's a few things that need to be repaired that I'm still waiting for that will affect, the ease of me taking care of them. And I still have to put the hardwire mesh around the run. It's not done yet. And I need something, I don't know if anyone has a suggestion, some kind of edging, but not like edging that's at least 12 inches tall because they are just kicking the mulch out of the run. And to be going out and picking it up, sweeping it up, and putting it back is really ridiculous. And, mulch ain't free. You got to pay for a good bag of natural mulch. So I'm not impressed. So that I need edging to keep the mulch in because they kick it all over the place. I need to get the hardwire mesh on. The plumber finally came for the second part to fix the inside part of the outside faucet that was leaking. Thank God. So that's been done. He did not charge me a lot. He just charged me for the parts. He's a church brother for somebody else, so he just charged me for the parts. But I gave him extra to cover like the gas because he came twice and to buy lunch because I know plumbers. Last time I got a job done to unclog something, it was $300 something dollars. He didn't charge me even $100. So I gave him extra because it's just the right thing to do because you would have had to pay more somewhere else. So that's been done. Thank God. I didn't go down and look because it's in the basement in the other lady's apartment. So he said the covering is not on good and the drywall needs a bit of touch up, which I kind of already knew, but for the most part it was done nicely. So that makes my life easier because I did not have outside water for the first few weeks of spring. He fixed the outside part so I could at least have water because, as you know, if you have to water your animals, I don't want to bring that nasty water in my house. So I had to be filling up jugs of water and carry like it just makes your life more difficult. Those of you who have actual homesteads and dealing with animals, like having water around the property makes it so much easier. Thanks, G Mama. So yeah, you can type hashtag urban, and you can get the weather in the chat. And did I drop the link? Yeah, I think I did. Okay. So that has made my life easier. I'm still waiting to get the roof of the shed fixed. Um, I don't know. The guy did finally come several months after to look at it, but he has never sent me a quote. So I don't know. I guess he forgot. Like, people are so busy that these small jobs don't really remember them. So that's the problem I'm having. And I asked before he sent the quote, like, to put an eaves trough on, you guys call it rain gutters, to catch the water, to get the water collected. That would help as well. I haven't heard back. The so that's okay. That the garden's going well. I just went up this morning to the compost to dump the bucket of manure up there, and I checked on the radishes, the turnips, and the corn. The radishes are doing well, but they're starting to bolt. I did get some bulbs. I don't know if I posted that picture on Instagram yet, but if I haven't, I'll do it today or tomorrow. So that's doing well. That bed is fertilized with rabbit manure and stuff. So that's doing well. The problem I'm noticing is that there's aphids on the corn. There's aphids on a lot of my plants in my garden, even in my inside garden. Like, I've been fighting this all winter. And at this point, I emptied out the 3 hydroponics. They're emptied and washed, bleached, put away. The last one that's here is the one that I had, the 4 units, that was like the one that Renaissance has as well. And that one, the dandelion leaves look so beautiful. I'm looking at them now, aphids. So I will be just harvesting everything, washing them thoroughly, put them in my juicer, and I'm done. Whatever it is, they're not dying. They're just hopping from another plant to another plant. So I still have some outdoor seedlings in here, a couple of cabbages, a couple of peppers. They're on there as well. So at this point, everything needs to go outside. I have some seedlings outside. Okay, take care, Jason. I'll see you next time. I'm gonna just put them outside. They're outside, most of them, but they're not all planted. They just need to be planted. But the aphids are a problem. And remember, I'm in Ontario. There's been that smoke fires that was been going on. It's been very overcast for many a days. There was a few days I had to stay inside because I really was having a problem with the air quality. And now it's been raining pretty much every day this week. So like, all this has been a perfect storm. Uh just really irritating. So my callaloo has all these black dots on them. I don't know which bug that is, but I did see a moth in my garden, 2 moths hiding in the tarp. So they seem to be laying like 3 million eggs at one sitting. Like, you want to see eggs? And I took off all the leaves. I put them in the chicken coop, let them eat them. But the rest of the eggs are right on the core where it grows out from. And I can't pop off those leaves. Otherwise, I'm pretty much destroying the plant. Well, maybe not. Maybe it'll give side shoots. So I put diatomaceous earth. I put the soap on there, all, like, everything. And it's raining every day. So it's a constant repeat. So today I'm going to go out. It doesn't look rainy today. I'm going to have to spray everything today heavily. And yeah. So rain gutters. Yeah. Yeah, rain gutters can be used outside as hydroponics. My sister wants to use that. I am not because it's not a good idea, but because to buy a length of rain gutter here, you have to buy the full length. I'm talking about, you need more than a pickup truck to drive that anywhere unless they cut it for you. And if you don't want a full length, you can't get just pieces. So this is kind of what I'm talking about today. I'm noticing that a lot of things that you're trying to do, it's like you're priced out of the market. Like, it's either it's not affordable enough, or you can't get things in smaller sizes where you can use for like an individual use. Um, it's just not really, yeah. But I'll talk more about that. So if I want to get rid of them, girl, and it's like you spray the aphids, and it's like it's just splashing everywhere. Like, everything's just greasy and soapy. It's just, oh, man, I'm so fed up. And that dandelion greens look so good. The fennel is actually looking pretty good. And the parsley, same thing. They're on the like they're on everything. They're on the peppers. They're on. Oh, and you want to see aphids? Look at the eggplants. Good morning, Mama's handprint. They love eggplant. Like this is just ridiculous, ridiculous. I'm just so irritated that I can't. Yeah, I will share an image in Starduster. I think I took some pictures. If not, I'll take a video clip and put it up as a short, and I'll get the camera right in there. I sprayed already a few days ago, but I'll just take a video of it how it looks now. But the aphids are everywhere. I don't like. So just to let you guys know, I don't know if you're in my climate. If you're in my climate and you're affected by the smoke in some way, and the sun's not as bright, you're gonna have to be out there every day with with a spray gun. Like I'm not even a spray gun, like the big tank one, like the Ghostbusters, because you're gonna be having to make a big batch and just be spraying them suckers. The callaloo it was nothing but black dots. Then they're on. I had to spray all my trees, and some of it is flies because of I got the girls. I didn't have the right thing for the run. Then their manure was sitting there, and the flies were coming. So now that I have the mulch and I have the DE in there, and they're turning it over, the flies are not really there. But they don't take long to breed. I had to spray my fruit trees, spray everything, all these black dots. It was just horrendous, horrendous. So I put G Mama, you know when you're extra? You know when you're so fed up? I have a mosquito mix that I've been talking to you about. Maybe not on my channel. I think it was on Erica's channel. So I have like, tea tree oil, eucalyptus. I'm using citronella, lemongrass. I bought about 8 oils. Cedar wood. I'm talking, and I have, make a mix with water, natural soap, and it's to like spray the run and the coop to keep the flies down, mosquitoes down. I even put it on my skin because I find it helps the mosquitoes not come. And I don't like putting, that chemical on my skin. It makes you feel like it's just grimy. So I'm using that for everything. I'm on the plant. I'm using that for everything because those are the same ingredients for insecticidal soap. So I'm just spraying that every which way. And it seems to be working. But because of the constant rain, the constant overcastness, they just be breeding and dropping eggs like it's nothing. It's almost so I've been putting every kind of oil in there. Trust and believe. I think I spent about $40 on oils. It almost feels like someone breeded all kind of plant eating bug. I'm telling you, we're all well. I'm a gardening channel. We garden, we grow food, but man, this year it's not even the end of June, and I've spent a lot of money on oils and soaps and spray bottles and tanks and nozzles and literally mosquitoes. I've been spraying every 2 days since. Yep. And it's a lot of work. It's time consuming, and it's making use only 2 oils, then switch. Okay. Well, what I'm using is working. Trust me. They don't like it. Nobody likes it. No, when I come out there and start spraying, they're gone. I'm spraying everything. I'm spraying the shed, the run, the coop. I'm spraying the pots, around the pots, in the pots. I'm spraying. Everything's just a soapy mess when I'm finished. And then the inside of the house, same thing. So it's working, but they keep laying more eggs. They keep doing. It's just like, man. Plus, you gotta. Well, I have to fertilize the radishes because they're bulbing, but then they kind of stunted. So I'm gonna use the banana water, and I have something else. What's the other one I was using? Banana water. Oh, more. I got more bloom. After rewatching a video from Growing Out the Box, so I'm gonna try more bloom. And I'm telling you, you gotta confuse the. I'm telling you, that's scriptural. You gotta confuse the enemy, like you gotta confuse the enemy, and something's going on, and yeah, I like something's going on, and we all notice the weather changes. We're all noticing a lot of stuff. But what I was doing this week was because the bug out weekend happened. Everyone kind of shared their story. Gina Renaissance, Virginia Bushcrafter, and then it was raining, so I put some tarp on the chicken run because the first day of a heavy rain, the tarp that comes with the unit doesn't have like an overhang to direct the water away. So it was literally on all the edges of the structure and it was muddy. And I'm walking out there looking and seeing them like a bunch of pigs, literally running and digging up the mud and having a good old time. I'm like, nah, man, I don't like when they have dirty feet. I don't want their feet to be muddy because it'll go into the coop. It'll affect the roost. The eggs will be dirty. Like the whole trickle effect. So I don't want them to be dirty. But man, they were finding some worms and they were digging, digging, digging. So I got some tarp. The tarp let me down. So I asked Virginia, him and the people in his chat, and I go, like, is there a difference? They go, yeah, there's a definite difference between the quality of a lightweight tarp versus a regular versus heavy duty, like a complete difference. So if I have light duty, then like forget that. So I got a new one from Canadian Tire for like $15 for one tarp, but that one's big, more durable, and the water can direct away from the run and be directed out. Now it's still on the run. I just kind of roll it up like a ghetto DIY roll up shade so that the light can get in. But if it rains, I can just quickly run out there, roll it down, and bungee cord it back down. It's not the best, but at least it's better than the run being wet and muddy and just smelly. So that's been taken care of. But I got a brown tarp because the big old blue tarp does not look cute. And plus, trying to think like, a bushcrafter, like from the sky, you're seeing a big old blue tarp, then you're going to know where I am. That's not a good plan. So I got brown or dark green. So it kind of looks like a part of the landscape because you can't tell the elevation. All you see is a brown blob. So it looks like a garden. The camouflage one that they have is too expensive, but that one would have been a good one. So that's what I did. So the water issue is addressed, but I do want to, same thing, put some kind of rain catchment on there because in the 4 days there was a lot of raw water being run off that I was just running off onto the lawn, which also got soggy. That could have been captured for my plants. So that's something else I'm going to address. But in general, the better tarp, it was worth the money. And that's another thing, back to, are we being priced out of nature? To go buy a tarp for $15, we all have different budgets, but $15 for a piece of plastic? That's kind of pricey. But you get what you pay for. So obviously you're going to buy better quality because the whole point is to keep dry, not to get wet. So I was looking after the bug out weekend. I'm like, okay, how much is it going to cost to go camping? Yes, I have to buy, tents and all the different, equipment, outdoor cooking stove, and my dad has a lot of stuff still. So, between our old stuff and getting some new stuff, you know, how can I get this to happen? So I was checking some provincial parks and campsites. I'm like, okay, let me just see how much it's going to cost. And if, for instance, I want to go live off grid and go live in an RV or whatever, how much would that cost? The cheapest experience for a tent, good morning, TLC, for an experience at a site with no extras, no electrical hookup, no, hey David, no electrical hookup, no water hookup. This is just the tent category. You're looking at about $50 a night. So I'm like, $50 a night for nothing? Like, I know you're on their property. I know you're on their land. I know you're but you're not getting any water, you're not getting any electrical. Why am I paying $50 a night? And I got to bring all my accoutrements. Maybe, I guess, I don't know. But hey, Juicing with Jay. And so if for instance, I'm just sitting down, if for instance I had nowhere to live and I said, okay, I still have my job, I'm gonna, work from the office, I won't work from home, and I'll live on a campsite. $50 a night, you're looking at $1,400 a month. I know rent has gone up, so rent is more than $1,400, but you could probably rent a room. I didn't see the benefit if you're strapped for cash. I didn't see the benefit of doing that, living off grid or living off the beaten path for 1400. That's for the minimum. If you want to go a little bit higher and get electrical, get water, then it's probably going to be like up to $1,500, $1,600 a month. If you're paying that much for electrical and water, then I might as well just go rent an apartment or an Airbnb or a motel. So to me, what I thought, what I assumed would be a good savings and, like, financial benefit, I'm not seeing the numbers when I'm crunching the numbers just generally. I'm not, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys, let me see what Andrew is saying here. Another thing we've been priced out of is cleaning supplies. I went to the store a couple of days ago and everything was in smaller containers. Yep. And like double the price of what the bigger ones used to be. A lot of the cleaning products too is the same old, same old. In terms of, we buy something different for the sink, something different for the bathroom, something different. I'm using basically one product for everything. And pretty much it always involves some kind of bleach. And if it doesn't have bleach, I pour bleach in it, which I don't recommend that. This is not a chemistry class. So, use your own common sense. But between vinegar and baking soda, good morning, containing my garden. Between all these kind of things, we don't need 50 million cleaning products. So I've streamlined my products from the beginning of the pandemic and just basically using and Costco. But I don't use, like, you had this like 5 million products. The only thing that would be different in my house is like anything for wood and wood polishing. But in terms of, you know, a cleaning product, I use an all-purpose one. Now, of course, you have to be careful with your stainless steel appliances because some of the stuff that we use could make rust marks. But in general, I use a non-toxic all-purpose cleaner. And if you spray your stuff ahead of time, like you spray your toilet the night before, you spray your shower the night before and let the product do its work overnight, it's less time scrubbing. That's just what I found. But yeah, things are smaller. I don't buy cleaning products anymore in terms of the individual bottles. Like, for instance, window cleaner. If I'm buying a window cleaner and I've already purchased it, I buy the big jug, the refill jug. Okay, no problem, Star. Yeah, yeah. Don't mix chemicals, Jay. But sometimes you just put a little tips, little chips of bleach, just a little, a bleach in there, just for make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do. That's why I'm saying don't mix chemicals and don't mix them in the bottle. Sometimes I just mix enough to use and finish using it that one time. So don't go off and say I said I didn't say nothing. But I buy the large refills now. To me, that's the best way to save money. Keep the bottle, because nothing wrong with the spray bottle that you have. Just buy the large refills of the window cleaner. That would make even the dishwashing soap. I don't buy dish soap anymore. I go to Costco now and buy the big jug. They have the what's the one I'm using now? The platinum, the one that has a platinum one. That one cleans real good. And vinegar and water. Vinegar is getting hard to find in some places, yes. And when I buy it, I buy it. Hold on, let me clear my throat 1 second. This is allergies. Thanks. So that's what I'm doing. But vinegar, yeah, when I buy vinegar, I buy 2, 3, 4 bottles because I know it's not going to waste. I use vinegar to clean with. I use it to clean my meat. I use it to mix with down the drain with the baking. Like, I use it for a lot of stuff. I clean the chicken's stuff with vinegar and water. I don't use Yes, David, baking soda. I use that for my clothes. Sometimes I use OxyClean, but baking soda mixed with laundry soda, which is kind of like baking soda, similar the old time stuff, that keeps the clothes clean and all the odor free, and the build lot less build up. So we're gonna have to kind of go back to some old time, and the old time stuff is better. There's no residue in the clothes. Have you ever washed your clothes and just put them in the washer with no nothing, no detergent, no nothing. Just wash the clothes in hot water, and you see, especially with the old machines that are top loader, and you see all the stuff coming out the clothes. That's all the buildup and residue from the soap and the products. Some, especially when you've already washed the clothes, they dry them and then you put them into wash again. All kind of buildup is still in the clothes. So the soap isn't getting them clean, and then just destroying the waterways. But that's a whole other topic. So we're getting price out of nature. Things that used to be basically free or very reasonable are very expensive. So I don't know where you guys go camping or where you guys go off gridding, or I don't know. All I know is that I'm looking at an actual park or a provincial park, and the pricing to me, if I did not have anywhere to live and I said, okay, I'm going to go live on a campsite, I'm paying at least $1,500 to live. And that doesn't include other amenities that I'm going to need. So that exactly that, your backyard, Jay. What if you don't have a backyard? So I'm think it's just, I just find it weird. I find it just like, what? So the money that I thought just on the top of my that I would be saving, I'm not saving. Then you have to have internet because we're in a different time and space where you need some internet. So if I don't have data on my phone to do like some basic banking and pay some bills while I'm living in the park, I need access to some kind of internet. Good morning, Rustic. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. I don't, you know, I don't. And then I'm looking at, okay, how much does it cost to an RV, a camp? What's the difference between an RV, a camper, a trailer? Because I'm new to this. I don't know. I've seen people talk about it. I've seen people, show their what they have, but what's the difference? So I'm looking at the prices. I'm looking, okay, you buy a camper, you buy this, you buy that. You got to park it somewhere. You got to insure it. Um, if you're going to hook up to the campsite and then dump the waste, they charge you separately for that, because I saw on the site, to dump it's so much per whatever, and if you're not on the site, they charge you for a day fee plus a dumping fee if you want to come and dump. Hey, she said, oh, I'm talking, everything, Jade. I'm just like seeing what the options would be if something were to happen. Just if something would happen, like, if something happened, I'm thinking I don't have to be a burden on somebody else. I can go and, catch in a campsite for a couple of weeks. They have showers there. I could shower, dress. I can still drive to work like nothing. They don't have to know that I'm living this way. I'm just pretending and seeing what the options would be while I'm also investigating camping. 'Cause I do want to practice, practice my preps, practice this experience, so I know what I'm doing. But when I'm looking at the numbers, I'm thinking, who can really afford this? I'm not saying everybody can't, but I'm just saying, who can afford this lifestyle to live off grid, which you think is not even a lifestyle, but the amount of things you're paying for is, I'm like, and if I miss somebody, I'm sorry. If I miss somebody, I'm like, this ain't cheap. This is not affordable, even though it's supposed to be affordable. And I'm like, okay, fine, cool, forget that. How about buying land? Because that's a goal of mine. Get some land. I know Gigi Eco, they are they I think they're still RVing. I think they're still RVing. I know they have a structure now, but something happens, and like, what are the options of doing that here? And I would have to have a winterized option because I have a harsh winter, so I couldn't just be doing a regular schmegular. Hey, Miss V, and it's not hard to get an RV, and finance it, but the insurance and all the other expenses, and parking it. They charge you more to go to the parks without that kind of structure and to hook up to the park. But I'm thinking, man. So I'm looking at land. Fine, I'm buying land. I saw some land randomly on the listings one night. I'm just there looking for land. I'm on a live. I can't remember who's live, but on people's lives, looking at land. And some of the land, in some of the areas specifically said you cannot park an RV or a mobile home or anything. And then one couple of lands you cannot build on here because it's a flood zone, so it would have to meet certain requirements of the zoning and blah 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 and be approved. So right there, I'm like, okay, that's not really appealing to go and fight for zoning and um, committee of adjustments and fight for this, that, and that. Because if you have to build a certain way in a flood zone, it has to be above the ground, and there's height restrictions. Then what are we talking about? Then one had a boathouse. Then one, I'm thinking, so you can't even, not that you can't, just on a quick search, that is, find a piece of land and go park your little something there and go catch and live? No. So you're being priced out and you're being zoned and bylawed out of of living off the land. So I'm really like, what the HWTF is going on here? Where are you supposed to go? I can go in my backyard if push comes to shove, but really I can't. Not that I can't. My backyard slopes up. The bottom level now is pretty much livestock, unless I park a tent right behind the chicken run, which is not a problem, but right behind the chicken run. Probably not the most hygienic spot to be right next to your animal mess. So I'll have to go on top, which makes me in the line of sight of many people's homes. There's too many people that would be able to see me. So unless I do it on my actual patio, not the grass part, I could. It just makes it very limiting your options, which is actually concerning. So I don't know where you all camp, or you just all find a random piece of land and just catch, or you have family land in other states or whatever, but it's becoming increasingly difficult if you're following the rules, that is. If you don't give a crap and you're just going to do what you're going to do and they have to find you first, that's another conversation. But in terms of legitimately finding a place, so I'm looking for land eventually, like in my 3 to 5 year plan, but I was looking for a structure, and I do want a structure. I think it's good, but I also want the option to park an RV or a trailer so that you have options. If something goes left, you can just go in the trailer, you can park it somewhere else, and you can just stay there for a few days or weeks while things clear up and then come back. That's what exactly like, so I don't know if you guys have experienced this, if you guys have been camping in a while, if you, those of you who do, like, bushcrafting and practicing your preps, how much you're spending, or if you're spending at all, if you're just going into a random park, what are the rules where you are? I don't know. But as it stands now, I don't see the financial benefit of living off grid in terms of, I I still want to live off grid, so don't misinterpret what I'm saying. But the financial benefit, if you think you're going to cut all your expenses in half, um I don't think it's going to even be half from what I'm just basically seeing, with a quick searching to find places. And that would mean that a lot of the other amenities that you may need, not want, but need, like, I think internet nowadays is pretty much a need to get certain transactions and things done. You need internet. This is the society that we're now in. Um, you have to pay for that. I don't see any park mentioning Wi-Fi included. Maybe you have to pay for a special hub to come with you from your provider and do that. But I'm like, this is crazy. Morning triple. To live in a tent is going to cost me $50 a day. Plus, I got to buy the tent, put up the tent, take down the tent. I have to probably carry my valuables with me. Who's going to watch my tent when I have to go to work and leave my, like all of these things that you think about. It's not, for me, it wouldn't work in terms of having valuable things. I'll have to have just my sleeping bag and that's it. So then I'm like, okay, what if I have a trailer or a camper? Because to me, that would be maybe more ideal. And I'm like, man. And I saw some campers. What do you guys call them? Um, there's a certain brand that's very popular. Wind something. Hey Don, Wind. something like an old-fashioned 70s one, like a spaceship kind of Scooby-Doo looking one. You guys know what I'm talking about. I can't remember the name. Um, they have them, and they look slick. But the problem is, yeah, they look slick, but where are you gonna put it? That's it. Winds, that's the one. Thank you. I saw some nice, no, the wind streams. The Airstreams. Yes, that's it. Winnebago is like reminds me of the old, but yeah, it's under the Winnebago category. Some of them look slick. Like, yeah, they're nice. They have mini washing machine. Like they have a whole thing. And they're not that expensive. Like, well, it is and it isn't. It depends. But if you're like retiring, selling your home, and you buy something cash, yeah, cash right outright, it can be. It's not a big expense when you have some assets to sell. But where am I going to park it? Because I'm actually thinking, not seriously going to considering, but thinking if I were to live in an RV, and you'd be like, why would you live in an RV, Urban? What would the I could rent out my house because I don't need to have all that I have here. Like really, it's just I work from home. I have my garden. The chickens would still stay here, and I would come drive back and forth and check on them, have the cameras, and rent out my house. And I could make more money and be retirement ready a lot sooner if I made a shift. And this is the whole point. We have to sometimes make a shift. And people think that, oh, that makes no sense. Why would you live in an RV or an Airstream and you have a house? Because if that would set me up by making this sacrifice and I could retire, you know, in a couple of weeks, couple of months, couple of years versus 65, and then I still own the house and I could still, move back into it, wouldn't that be a good idea? And that's what people are doing. There have a bylaw over here in many of the towns, cities, province wide, and they're allowing people to put a bunkie, which is a tiny house, in their backyard. And because the housing crisis is so much, and my friend sent me a text in our group last night. We have a group that we just hash out ideas and that the population in Canada has increased by 1 million, I think they said, since 2022. 1 million. Let me just confirm that in the chat here. He sent me a picture. Um, yeah, he sent the screenshots from the Canada website. Canada's population clock at 40 million. Canada's population has officially reached 40 million people. And it said it grew by 1 million in 2022. People need places to live. And the immigration has increased. 1 million people in 1 year. And a lot of people are coming to the cities and there's nowhere to put them, which is why at the same time, they're making it very difficult for Airbnb and hosts because they don't want you Airbnb-ing. First of all, they don't really protect landlords, which is why people Airbnb. Let's just tell the truth. I know tenants have a right to be protected. I'm not saying that, but they don't protect landlords when they don't pay and the mortgages still due, but they want you to provide housing for people. Screw you with that. You provide the housing. I pay enough taxes. You worry about that. That's your problem, not mine. So that's what's happening now. People who own multiple properties have to declare if the property is vacant or not. And they want to charge homeowners, landlords, a tax for it being vacant. I think it's $20,000 tax. Excuse my French, but F you with that, government. How am I paying $20,000 for it to be vacant when I have to pay the property taxes? I still got to pay utilities because even though I'm not using anything, you have to pay for them to be connected and you have to pay for whatever these fees they charge you for. Pretty much So you're paying all that and you're paying the property taxes. So the city's making money, but you're going to punish me for not renting because you're not protecting me? Miss me with that. But, anyways, that's what it's coming to. And this is why. Now, I do think it's a good idea to allow homeowners to have a tiny house in their backyard because, for instance, my backyard is big enough that the upper shed that I have with my lawnmower, if I were to remove that and make a bachelor or even a small one bedroom, that would serve me well. And they're still far enough from my backyard space so that they can have their own little outdoor space. Little, because I'm not getting rid of my garden and my plants. And I still have my girls. I still have my garden, my flowers. That wouldn't change when it comes to my space. But someone could have a small place to live. And at my house, they could even have a parking spot because I do have room for another parking spot if it's a small enough vehicle. So they're doing that, but at the same time, they're not protecting landlords. And it's really, rental property. I had seriously thought about stealth camping and getting out of the apartment before I moved here. I'm telling you, I'm thinking about it, but I'm not deterred, but the pricing is not what I thought it would be. And I know everything costs money. I'm not naive, but the money you're spending is not much less than getting an apartment. So what's the benefit? The benefit is, I guess, your health and wellness, being out with nature. But when it comes to terms with the financial, I thought it would be better. I thought it would be much better. And if you're spending almost as much as you would in an apartment, you still have a hard time saving and for that piece of land if you want your own piece of land. So they're still in a way pricing us out of nature. You literally can't afford to pitch a tent somewhere and lay your head. Like, I find this crazy. And yes, we're not protected. So a lot of my friends are getting letters because they have property in different cities in the GTA. Like, Toronto's not just Toronto, there's other cities and some suburbs and other places, and they have to attest and declare if it's vacant or not. So one person bought the house for their mother who lives in another part of the province, like 4 hours, 5 hour drive. No, that's a lie. It's a 10-hour drive. And the mother hasn't officially moved here yet, but that house is for her mother. So she put down that's her mother lives, her parents live there. Her parents, that's their home, so they can take care of them. But for the rest of us who don't have that option, um, yeah. So, I don't know what the zoning is in your cities, but let me just keep up with the chat before I continue. People who have had less time to make babies if they wouldn't be have locked the world. Yeah. But no, this is all immigration. This 1 million is not people having babies. Some people are having babies. This is immigration. This is people. Well, we already know they let in a lot of people from the war-torn countries recently. Then the previous war-torn country, Canada, opened their borders to Syrians. And then so there's a lot of immigration over here, a lot of immigration. And then I know in the States, you guys have immigration. People be crossing the border of their own accord, left, right, and center. I find it funny, sidebar, that everyone was talking for the last how many years about this man who wanted to build this wall. And oh, what an a-hole, and he's this, that, because he wants to build a wall. Now y'all don't have a wall. And I hear people begging for the wall now. Is it just me? Make it make sense. So now y'all want the wall because people be walking in. And from what I heard on the news, they be dropping off busloads of people into certain areas. I think it's New York and Texas and all kind of areas, just dropping off people, putting them up in hotels. Hotels are being vandalized and damaged, and people be coming and stealing. And anyways, type that in the chat. There are loopholes, but yeah, but it's a lot of work and a lot of time to do that. But yeah, we have to be doing that because they don't protect you. There are people who are professional tenants and they know the rules and they know how long it takes to get them kicked out and evicted. And then the system's already backed up. So by the time they get evicted, they could have lived in there for 18 months rent free, but you still got to pay the mortgage. So how is that fair? This is what I'm talking about. So because of that, people rather have Airbnb or short-term rentals where they're a bit more protected, and if the person just is not paying, they have to leave. And yeah, so this is what I'm noticing. I'm not like, good morning, Cassandra. I'm not, saying anything like for certain, but this is what I'm noticing, and I'm trying to figure out, what's going on. People at God. Right. Oh, we don't want no wall. Y'all want a wall now, don't you? I think some of y'all gonna be building your own wall because too much people. Listen, I'm not being mean. Hear what I'm saying. I love to help people. But you have to remember the system is already stretched. Stretched. People haven't been working, some of y'all in the US and even Canada, but probably the US, since 2020. And it's been difficult. Some of y'all's checks and your whatever checks you were getting for assistance, they're dry. People don't have extra. The churches are already supporting their communities. Now there's all the immigrants coming in. Not about race. It's not about race. It's about just immigration. And the churches are helping as much as they can, but everything is running dry. Dry. You can't keep adding more people and the system is not sustaining the needs of the people. It's all I'm saying. And people going to start getting irate and ignorant because they don't want to be doing without, and these people haven't paid no taxes, and then I'm telling you, it's causing a lot of conflict even over here. A lot of people have a lot to say. Hey, oh, thank you, Big Rooster. People have a lot to say, and it's stretching people, patience and kindness and professional tenants. I'm telling you, people be dropping off people. Yep. But when the man was talking, a certain man with the comb over was talking about the wall. Oh, how dare this person talk about the wall? The US of A, in my opinion, has a lot of enemies. And when the borders are not secure, it puts you all at risk for homegrown issues. I don't want to use certain words because I don't know what's flag and not flag, but homegrown issues, you know, in-house issues, because now they're in the house. They're not outside of the house where you're keeping them out. They're now in your house. That's a problem. And they're coming through intentionally my country and the other country on the other side. And people were coming up here too because we had a whole big old hole in our border. So we were no better. We had a whole street that you could just walk down and literally, with your suitcase, leave the US and be in Canada. And a lot of people knew about it. A lot of people knew about this big old gap. Literally a big old gap. Some people are even talking about air. Oh, yeah, they try that. They try that. To be a landlord, sorry if I keep sipping, but you got to keep hydrated. You got to be gangster. You got to be the kind of landlord that will go pitch a tent at the on the driveway and the back, whatever of that, because that's your property. You got to be the type of landlord that will walk in there with your proper protocol and be in there and just live in there with them and run them out of your own house, because you're not play. Because who you gonna call? Who you gonna call? You got to be one of those gangster people who have people in low places. The kind of friends that you drive by and say, "Yo, blase blah," and they go and deal with the case allegedly. Them kind of friend, gutter friend. Because that happened to my friend. She had to go call some gutter. the gutter snipe people them for come and go deal with the case. Allegedly. Because we don't have time for no red tape. Red tape days someone have it done. And they left. She wasn't, the people them that she was with wasn't playing. Because they ain't got nothing to lose. So they don't care. They just let people come across the board and supposedly, yep. I met a lady that came across willy-nilly with her 3 kids, and some agency in Cali even helped. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And you guys see it. This is what's happening. Hey, Miss Ellen Pankey, this is what's happening. And I'm hearing it on the news and the underground news and the mainstream news, but the mainstream isn't really going down into the deep of it. People are in their house. I think it was Texas, minding their business, and the open carry states or the stand your ground states. They just, you think you're gonna break into my house? I don't care where you walk from and how far you walk. When you come on my property, I'm the law over here, and that's what's happening. And people are getting, taken out because they're coming over here. And then listen here, and you have to even be careful with that, because some of these people ain't just regular people. Some of these people are cartel people, and they're not here. These are cartel people. Trust and believe. These are not what we call refugees. These are very dangerous people. I agree with you, Urban. Some people believe we have enemies only under certain means. You have enemies. You have enemies. And you guys' borders not secure. And it's a concern. All of you should be concerned. Because you don't know who's coming in there. Well, you know who. They're not the good, innocent people. They're cartel people. And the human trafficking thing is hot right now. Hot. And I even heard on one broadcast a few months back, and even again recently, child labor going on in some of y'all states. Right under your noses, child labor. Having them on midnight shift and handling chemicals and all kind of stuff. The people that were born, that too. You got that right, Big Rooster. In house. Oh, I heard that. May I tell you? I heard there was a lady. I think someone sent me that email too, to chop her up and because when you come to confront people now and they don't want to leave and they don't want to pay, it's not there for no conversation. So you guys better, this ain't no joke thing. And these people, as I just said, I'm pricing out how much it costs to go camp somewhere, to go, whatever. And it's not affordable. It's not impossible, but if you're on a really tight budget, it's not very affordable. And you're talking about people who are desperate. They're just gonna pick up and park anywhere. And then we're having a mayor campaign right now in Toronto. Not my riding, but and even I've been driving through a lot of cities, and people are like, oh, it's unsafe and this and that and that and this. Because all the public parks people are popping up tents. They're tent cities. They're popping up left and right. But where do you listen? I'm a landlord. I do want my property value to be high. That goes without saying. But at the same time, where do you want these people to go? Where do you want these people to go? Because going into a shelter is not an option for many people. That's where the most problems are, and diseases and danger is in these shelters. So where do you want these people to go? If they can't go into a park, they can't afford private land, they can't go into an RV place because you have to pay. Where do you want these people to go? And I don't think anybody here can really give an answer, because I have to go find a park, and I'm finding it very expensive to go and live off the land. So if I'm priced out, not really literally priced out, but it's not that cheap, how are they gonna afford it and go buy food and go keep clean and shower and keep their stuff, their personal effects safe and secure and not get robbed? How do you expect all of this to happen? I really don't see it. Oh, the pack of king courses and I'm telling you, that's what it's coming to. This is what it's coming to. So I'm wondering if it's worth, even if I get a piece of land, having a section that's, for people to come and park and rent and make it maybe more affordable or something. But there's nowhere for people to go. And if they come and force their way on to your land, that's worse than if you just maybe had some kind of agreement or some kind of something, Oh Lord, don't go there, David. But yep. And this is not a fear-mongering conversation. I'm just talking because I'm like, okay, legitimately, the bug out weekend happened. Everyone's exciting. I'm like, okay, where can I go and practice my preps? Where can I go and do certain things? Where can I go and be off the land and have that experience and still have access to water and, you know, stuff. And I'm not talking about even buying the tent and buying all the stuff, which is another expense. I'm just talking about a place where I can park the tent and be somewhere and camp. So when people are talking about you will own nothing and be happy, and people are not really seeing how that's possible, really, I really suggest some of you guys maybe who don't really camp or know, just go and see how much it costs. See, if God forbid I had to go and live, in my car or go live somewhere, where could I park my car and be safe? Because you can't keep parking in a drive-through or whatever. Like you have to, if it's going to be a long-term thing, like, just pretend, put yourself in there, just pretend for a minute and go and see how much things cost. Go do a quick internet search and see how much things cost. See how much it costs to put your stuff in storage, because you can't take it everywhere with you because you're going to be robbed. What you going to do? Where are you going to live? Hey, it's Plant Your Garden. It's very eye-opening and awakening, let me assure you. And I'm thinking under freeways, yeah. I don't know if I would feel, if I'm under a freeway, I would have to have a crew, because as a female being alone, that is dangerous. And for me, the most dangerous part is falling asleep, having a safe place to sleep and not being victimized because now you're vulnerable because you're sleeping and you're not paying attention. So it's very difficult. And then as you all know, or maybe not know, but maybe you are aware that there are people that there's a hierarchy of poverty, let's say. And unless you're dirt poor, you don't qualify for a lot of things. So, obviously somebody with children would probably get more preference than me who's single. So I would probably fall through the cracks and wouldn't have access to shelters. Maybe that they would, but they'll be like, okay, you got to go over there because we need the room for somebody. Like it would always be something else or somebody else who would get priority. What's going to happen? Yeah, because what it costs to live off the land is not as affordable as I thought. That's all I'm saying. We're being priced out. And I know things cost money, don't get me wrong, because the parks got to pay for infrastructure, they got to clean up, they got to, keep things sanitary. There's a whole, staff, there's a whole thing, to run it. But it don't make it any easier for people who need to live somewhere. It's going to turn into Skid Row all over the place. A perfect place for people like the Night Stalkers to come out. Yeah. It's concerning, and we're gonna have to think differently. I don't know where I'm going to end up per se in this train of thought, but a tent is not going to work. Not that it's not going to work, like it can't work, but I'm just thinking of my safety. If I don't have a clique, if I don't have a group, and I'm having to move around and relocate frequently, I don't need an RV, but I need a camper that can hitch onto my car or my SUV, or maybe the ones that kind of are made from like a cube van. Those are the smaller ones, you know what I'm talking about, like almost like a minivan style, but a bit bigger. That is actually the vehicle and the home in one. Something like that. Not because I need to be a diva, but because I don't want to sleep in a tent and then at any moment someone can just, jump and do whatever. And I have a little piece of fabric between me and them. That doesn't sound to me ideal. Maybe an old abandoned ghost town as an option. I'm telling you, I'm going to have to start. I don't know. I have to just start looking more in depth because the land that I'm looking at, I'm not seeing options for parking, and it specifically says that you cannot do it. Now, should I just do it and say screw them? Maybe if it gets that bad, but as it stands right now, that's what's going to open up me getting tickets and permits and citations. So that's not really going to work. So, can you imagine the system? The system takes so long to place people from shelters here. It can take 2 to 3 years to get into public housing from the shelters. Yep. And somebody like me would not get priority. I already know that. I'm telling you. So people are understanding without even having a conversation. They themselves are understanding the importance of ownership, because the whole point is, for me, I don't want to be at the mercy of anybody. And as it stands now, if I have to go to a park or go anywhere and they can say, you know what, you got to go, you got to leave, that's not a good position to be in. So I'm now, the land ownership thing, it's always been there, but now when I'm seeing the alternative, yeah, no. Even if I don't have a piece of land, but I have my property, and somebody worse comes to worse says, listen, can I stay in a tent in the backyard? I have the shed. They can even move the lawnmower over and they can kind of sleep in that part and then just have the tent as a social space. And they can come. I have a second bathroom. They can come, when I'm here and shower and whatever, and then go back out, whatever the situation is. That's an option. But they still don't own their spot. That's a very precarious situation to be in. But Urban, who are they keeping the parks clean for? That's what I'm saying. Like I understand both. Like people want to go for a walk and not see people sleeping and lying. Like I understand that. But where do you want them to go? Where do you want them to go? They can't afford housing. They can't afford land. The shelters are not safe. There's not enough space for everybody anyways. They don't mind living outside even in the dead of winter because it's over here is cold. I'm talking cold. Where do you want them to go? They have access. Good morning, Lashes. They do have access, and certain restaurants feed the people. So people do get access to food, but they need access to a place to bathe or something and a place to sleep. I don't know what else you expect people to do. And the problem is not getting better. It's not shrinking. It's getting bigger. People are like me, basically, are a couple of paychecks away from the same situation. And don't get it twisted. Don't think that you're somehow way up here. That's a lie. We are all a couple of paychecks away from the same situation because your savings can only go so far. Homeless shipping container apartments built by the city of Los Angeles under the freeways. We are being priced out. $2,100 for 2 bedrooms in Los Angeles, pushing people in the undesirable places to live. Yep. Somebody was building little homes for people, but then something happened. There was a fire. I think they were wood. and they got in trouble. People just need a small place to sleep. They're not even asking for no big space, but it's getting worse. And for those of us who are landlords, they are making it very difficult for you to hold on to a property and keep it vacant. They don't want it vacant. And I understand, don't get me wrong, I understand why. But unless you're going to protect the landlords and do a better job of making the system fair, and if you're not paying, you need to leave kind of thing, or give them some subsidy to help pay, and then you're not being left paying a mortgage for a home. You're paying for them to live, basically. No, that's not right. But they're not addressing that. They want to now charge the landlords extra taxes and fees and penalties for having the property vacant. You know what? F you. Basically, I had enough. I've had enough, because it's not my problem to fix everybody else's problem. You guys are getting paid tax dollars to serve the community, to serve your constituents. So serve the constituents. That's your job, to serve your constituents and provide the needs that are fair and balanced for all. I'm not saying that as a landlord, it has to all go our way, but it needs to be some kind of balance. After 2 months, they haven't paid, there needs to be a faster system to get them evicted. The government needs to say, okay, they can qualify for X something. I'm not paying for them to live there for free, because I certainly can't live for free. So how is that fair to the people who are paying their way, have to pay for somebody else to live? That's not right. And they know it's not right, but they don't want to address the issue. They want to make it difficult for people to Airbnb and short-term rental. Subsidizing rent plays all kinds of games. They don't play landlords, even if tenants are the problem. I'm telling you. So what's happening now over here in Ontario, I can't see for all of Canada, but in Ontario, that some people may be selling assets, selling extra homes that they have, and not because it may not always be worth paying all these penalties, keeping it vacant. And even if they sell them and put these properties on the market for somebody to buy, only somebody who can afford to buy it can afford to buy it. So you're still not helping the housing problem. You're not solving the housing problem, because it's a problem because people can't afford it. It's not just all about availability of stock of homes to buy. That's not the problem. That's a problem. That's not the problem. The problem is people can't afford housing. So it doesn't matter if I get rid of my stock and if I have an apartment or a condo, doesn't matter if I sell it. I'm selling it at market value. Who can afford that? Most people who are selling a home, we're talking to my friend yesterday, they're like, yeah, what's she going to buy? House on her street sold for, it was listed for like 1.1 million, let's say, and it sold for like 1.5, 1.6 million. Yeah, great. You sold it for 1.6 million. That's a good chunk of money over the asking price. It is. But what you going to buy? Because you certainly can't buy in that same area, because you can't afford it yourself now. Or you're going to just dip into all your profits. You got to move further out of the city. And that's happening to a lot of people. So now people aren't selling because it doesn't make sense. Where you going to go? So you have to actually now, not in every situation, but in some situations, before you reach retirement age, you have to already have a second property somewhere else, either in the purchasing process or being built or something in the works, so that when you sell your house in the city, you can afford to buy something, or you have something already out of the city that you're going to move into, like a bungalow. 1 second. You can you can't afford it. You can't afford nothing in the city. And the problems are not being, I'm just tired of all the bureaucracy and all the bull crap. You in Northern Cali? Yeah, I don't know. I've never been to Cali. I just hear about it, but I wouldn't be living there. I wouldn't be living there. Not because it's a bad place, because the price, the cost of living is crazy. The cost of living is crazy. And to live there, like, you don't have, how are you supposed to save if you live in a high cost city? I wouldn't live there just because of the price. Hey, Monique, good to see you. It's really it's bad, guys. Bad, bad, bad. So you're gonna have to just take a look and see what's out there. See what's out there, and see what it would cost if, God forbid, something happened to you, and you had to like relocate. Somebody I know right now, their parent has to relocate, and the problem is when you're older and you have a lot of accoutrements, you have a lot of stuff. It's hard for them to scale down. But at this point, you're gonna have to scale down because he was renting. The person sold the property, and the new buyer wants it empty. So he has to relocate. Somebody else I know has to go find another place to live. It's very difficult. And the prices that you were paying, it's not the price now. And you're going to get a smaller space. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. And then the thing that they're saying is, I have all these clothes. I have all this stuff. I have. Hey, D Macro. You ain't lying, Jay. You ain't lying. A lot of people are moving to places that they weren't even, it's not even their native country. Like they're just going to, like, Belize is popular. I know Costa Rica is quite popular. There's somebody that I follow on Instagram, and she left Canada and they're in Costa Rica and living the best life because the dollar can go further there, and just fresh fruits and vegetables because they're into that kind of living. Fresh fruits and vegetables, everything's off the trees themselves, ripe, and living their best life. Can't afford, you can't afford, like we're we're priced out of nature. It's funny and so sad at the same time. We're priced out of nature. You can't even afford to put a tent up anywhere and park. Can't afford it. You got to pay for everything. So what is the alternative? I have no idea. I'm just talking. All I know is that if that's going to be an option for me in terms of having a backup for, SHTF or, you know, uh, uh, active whatever, I don't know what you want to call it. You're gonna have to have you're gonna have to own a piece of land or something, and park your RV or whatever on there. Yep, a lot of people are going to Jamaica, are going to Jamaica, going to Africa. A lot of people, because you can't afford it. And what you can afford is so basic. It's so depressing to even talk about. It's disgusting. Like, you want to live a nice, comfortable life. I don't think most people are really that. We don't want a celebrity life. We just want to have a nice home, good size, spacious. If you got a family and kids, you want room for them to come and stay over. You're not all on top of each other. Your kids can have their own bedroom. You want a few bathrooms. You want some land, some space. You don't want nothing. You don't want things. You're not like into the things and 10 cars. You just want a comfortable life. Fresh fruits, vegetables, food, travel, outdoor excursions, comfortable. Not having to worry about, paying bills and all that kind of stuff. And even just to get that is costing sweat, blood, and tears. And it's a problem. So yeah, I'm rethinking my plan. But yeah, I'm gonna have a piece of land here, obviously. But I don't need a lot, maybe half an acre, just somewhere I can park an RV per se. If worse comes to worse, I can live, I can catch, we call it catching somewhere, and not be a burden or a problem to anybody else. But at the same time, North America, I'm going to say North America is too, it's too expensive. And they're not protecting landlords, they're not protecting, they're making it very expensive for us to even try to build wealth. They're making it very expensive for you to try to build wealth. And I'm not talking about wealth like trillion, but just enough to be comfortable, enough to have a fund to retire on. They're making it, who are they? We always, it's making it very difficult. The system is not set up. I was talking to a friend and we're talking, and a Instagram video came up, and it's just funny how the system works. We work how many hours a week, overtime, whatever we do, and they tax your income before you get it. You get the rest of your income and you go and buy, you shop, you live your life. And every purchase you make, you're paying taxes. Then they want to act like they don't have no money to provide services to the people. You tax my income and you tax my purchases. What's left? What's left? I pay taxes on every purchase I have to pay taxes on. It's quite disgusting. Like, if you tax my income tax, then you should really be not taxing and charging service charges on the other stuff. Or don't tax my income and let me pay taxes on all the things that I choose to purchase and what I choose to engage in and indulge in. Because I ain't seen the tax dollars benefiting the people. It's benefiting the aristocrats, not benefiting the people. Let me see what I'm missing here. I have a tenant, $800 in rent, and refused to pay. Been 6 months now, still fighting for eviction. 2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms. You can't find that price nowhere. You can't find that price over here. $800 would get you a bachelor with a tiny bathroom. That wouldn't get you no 2-bedroom, 2 bathroom, nothing. $800 will get you a room. I don't even have 2 bath. Yo. Juicing with Jay. And the funny thing is, I'm not that kind of person. Thank God I'm not that kind of person. Some of y'all tendency to be thanking God because God has saved you. If I was a really bad person, it's cheaper for me to hire someone to do certain things than it is for me to fight the court system, if you catch my drift, allegedly. 5 grand, 10 grand, 15 grand can do a lot of damage on these streets. But because I don't move like that, I don't live like that, I don't go in those directions. But there's people who are starting to not care. It's cheaper for them to do that and to take it to the streets because it's costing them too much time and money to do it the proper way. Yep, they're inflating us up. Exactly what we're talking about. You can't afford nothing. I went to the store. Hey, Miss D, I went to the store and I did buy some foolishness. I was feeling away this week and I bought some chips and I bought some crackers that I shouldn't buy, but I love these crackers. They're banned in other countries. And I bought some fruit. I bought, and I bought something else I shouldn't be eating, but I ate it. Can't remember. Anyways, I think I spent about $40 on what? What did I just buy? The bag is not even. There's nothing in the bag. And then when you open the chip bag, it's like half air or 2/3 air. So what did I just buy? $40. And I don't eat that much. Hey, Lydia, I don't eat that much. I eat sometimes the wrong things, but we're going to have to start. Yeah, you're laughing. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about. Ask me how I know the prices. Because people be talking. Telling you. Don't push us because we're close to the edge. Literally. We're trying not to lose our head. After the pandemic, chips are more. What? The chips were 2 for $5.50. So 2 something for a bag of chips. Family size. Those damn Lays get you every time. And then I bought the no-name brand chips, which used to be like 89 cents, maybe $1. That's like $1.25, $1.30 now for the no-name brand. And then you want a box of Jamaican patties, that's like $12 now. And then it's not 12 patties, guys. It was 12 patties. It's now like 10 patties, and they're probably going to make it 9 patties in the box. So they're making the box. I'm telling you, When certain things get I'm just showing you how much it costs because I'm a regular schmegular person. I'm not like, I like some nice stuff here and there. You want to get a pedicure here and there. You want to enjoy, but you're not living no lavish life. And I'm telling you, just to go, I'm like, okay, how much is it going to cost to go camping? I want to practice my preps. Let me see what's going on. Blah, 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 blah. Click a click, did a search. And I'm like, $50 a day. I don't know how much it costs, Monique, in Montreal to camp or where you guys go camp, if you go camp. But to go to a provincial park or I can't find any other sites. I gotta have to look. And then they have some places that you can rent an RV. You don't have to have your own RV. You can rent one near the park if you want to have that experience and practice and experience how it would be and see if it's something that you want to purchase for real and make some decisions. And by the time you add up this and you add up that and you add up, I might as well just go buy a condo. Really and truly, because this is just it costing too much. Oh, you rehome your dog? That's why I haven't seen the dog in a while. I haven't seen her in a while. Wait. You don't see the chip bag, Monique. You don't see the bag of chips. You open the bag of chips, and when you take out the air and roll it back down to where the chips actually are, you're lucky if you get 1/3 bag of chip. But I had a craving for some ketchup chips, and then I had a craving for the cheddar sour cream. And I ate the chip. It's so salty. I'm like, I shouldn't be eating these chips, but crunch, gobble, gobble, gobble. Sometimes you have those days. Not often, but sometimes I have those days. Yep. Telling you. If camping is this expensive, this is a problem. I sent him with new bag of food, 75% air in the bag. I'm telling, and we're all seeing it. We're all seeing it. Dog food is higher price than what I had paid for 25 pounds. Now I get 14 pounds. Now you wonder why I'm giving my chicken. I had to go to the restaurant today too, and giving them the restaurant leftover food. You think it's joke? I bought 2 bags of chicken feed last time I went because I said, okay, when I first got them in April, I bought 1 bag to see how long the bag would last. The bag lasted me about 5 weeks because my sister goes, you're so stingy with the food. Listen here, they have to be on rations. They can't just be feeding things and giving them unlimited food supply. And I would give them, other little stuff, kale and lettuce and spinach and whatever I grow that is like gone to seed. I don't need seeds. I throw them to the girls. Did you all know dog food has roadkill in it? That don't bother me. Someone's got to eat it. Some people actually eat it. They go around and pick up the thing there and go make barbecue. That's another topic, but I'll segue to that after. But yeah, I give them the restaurant food, so they're having rice and peas. They're having some bottom liver. They had some all kind of food I'm eating, and the food that I bought for them, I still give it to them. I don't fill the feeder. I give it a little bit because I don't want mice to be coming. So, and they eating a lot less, and I'm still getting eggs. It's just a problem to keep breaking them, but they're eating. I think we have to. Here's my side. Well, hold on. I'm going to segue to the dog food in a second. I like that word, shrink. Yes, exactly. Shrinkflation. They know it's inflation, so they want to trick us by giving us the same size of packaging, but the contents are less. They think they're slick, and people who are paying attention can see. No. This is not the same amount. I'm telling you. Telling you. Sometimes you're craving some chips, and it's like, man, mobile homes owners rent the land, being evicted as land costs rise. Yep. Telling you. So even if I buy a mobile home, if they ask me to move, what am I going to be doing? Just driving around? Gas ain't cheap. Diesel, I think, is cheaper, but, it costs money. But to the dog food and animal food, I find it funny, maybe because I'm Caribbean. I just find it funny. The levels people go for their pets. As if their pet can't eat roadkill. and the pet can't eat something. What would animals be doing in the wild? Do you think they're eating Grey Poupon and these fancy, white fish things on a fancy plate? They're gonna be eating that squirrel that you see hopping around from tree. They're gonna be eating so. That's what they're gonna be doing. So I find it hilarious that. And then I asked sidebar. I emailed the company that the chicken feed manufacturer because it says on the package if you want to know what's in the food, email the manufacturer. The store that sells it doesn't have that information. So I emailed them. I haven't got an answer. What's in the food, please? Can you? I don't need your recipe, but what's in it? Can I get a list of ingredients so that I can decide if this is something that I really want to feed my animal? Haven't got an answer. So I'm either gonna maybe start to look at the other brands, email them, because there's another store I can get to not frequently, but when I'm in the area, I can just buy like 2 and 3 bags of food, and see, contact the manufacturer first and see if they'll give me a list of the ingredients. I don't see how you're selling me something and I can't know what's in it. I think it stands to reason I should know what's in it, so I know if it's something that I want to be, because whatever they're eating, I'm eating. Whether it's meat, birds, or whether I'm just eating the eggs, if they're eating it, I'm eating it. So I want to know what's in it. They didn't answer. Dog food is mega expensive. And I used to buy my pet food from Costco, and it's mega expensive. Even the cat litter, we noticed was getting more expensive, and then the same size though, and then they started also taking off some of the weight. Had to go. He's at my parents' house. Mom just called me last night talking about I know why you dumped him. Oh, that dog was so cute. But I'm telling you, animals are not. That's why when our pets started passing on and getting of age, and the last pet we had, we paid to put her down. Every other pet is in the garden buried somewhere. Cause them the prices we go put down animal. Them the prices. I'm like, and then if you want the ashes and an urn, I said this is a money making thing. So the other ones, I'm like, yo, I give you your last rites, and we dug a hole, and I have about between rabbits and birds and cat and all kind of animals at the parents' house. We just put them down and lay them to rest because, again, they're pricing you out the market. Buy your good potatoes and make your own chips. Yeah, I do, but sometimes you want them now. We want them now. That's what happens. We're in a society where sometimes you want you click 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 Uber Eats, boom 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 boom, they come to your door. Sometimes we all fall prey. But now make your own. I know TT makes her own, and other people make their own, and that's the thing. They're not giving us anything different than what we can make ourselves. People act. I remember one lady was talking. Oh, I know. Like, who gives their dog cornmeal? I said, I go, everybody in Jamaica, everything is cornmeal. Your dog, your cat, everybody get turned corn, and you put like animal scraps in the cornmeal. When you kill a couple of chickens, well, I shouldn't say that word. When you dispatch some chickens, and you have liver and gizzards and all kind of scraps, then put them in one big cornmeal pot and cook it down and give the dog. What do you think you're feeding your dog? You think do you think people in the island are feeding their dog the meat? The people are eating the meat. The dog gets the little neggy scraps, and you make some mix up, and you put some rice in there and beans, and you give them a little mix up. That's what you're giving your animals. You can't be giving your dog and roadkill. I know people who go and hunt down roadkill. As soon as, especially when it's fresh, just the car just lick the animal. Fresh. Them have them shovel ready. Bloop. Gone. One man on reality TV, him live by roadkill. Live by roadkill. Him all his meat is roadkill. And him not dead. What do you think? We're so disconnected from the food. And this is again the other problem. And who was I talking to? Can't remember. And we're like, what was happening, and then now in this last 2 or 3 generations, we have no clue. Everything is like, ew, oh, eh, eh. I had some strawberries from the garden yesterday, and I'm pretty sure there's some worms in there because I didn't wash them. I'm pretty sure there was a couple of worms in there, and I just put my mind at ease and just didn't think about it. And I went gobble, gobble, gobble. This is sweet and nice. And I moved it, kept it moving. I kept it moving. I watched the chickens eat worm from this and digging up fly and eating all bee and butterfly. If you go on that run, you're on your own. I can't help you. They're not dead. They're happy living their best life. We got to put our mind to somewhere else. We're so turned off. They've turned us off with all this marketing. It has to look like this. It has to be like that. It can't. Now, there's some things I'm not going to eat, but I'm not going to let them. Not me. I don't care for no. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Roadkill isn't that bad as what. I'm telling you. We going to have to change things. And I'm like, it just, we're being priced out of the market. We're being priced inflation, shrinkflation, priced out, bylaw, all these different things. It's increasingly difficult, and I understand the difficulties that people are having. I'm not, I don't have lack of empathy, but man, it's going to be a lot more people in that situation. Is all I'm trying to say. And from what I'm looking at and researching, just to find, to live off the grid. Hey, Tree Rogi, it's crazy. Crazy. Hold on. My Bella know I'd be mad if she eat or drink anything in the yard or when we go walking. Bet Bill if she got to hold something that I know you have to be concerned, but sometimes just let them have let them eat something. Are your chickens egg laying thin? Who has thin chickens? I ain't skinny, so they ain't gonna be skinny. No, man. Or your chickens are breaking the eggs. They're walking on them because they're fat and they got big feet. And they're fighting over the nesting box because they don't want to go into the other box. I don't think they're pecking at it. They're not pecking at it. They're fighting and they're thick, and then they're probably sitting on the egg. I thought chickens laid and kind of scooched down and bloop. They're sitting down and having a whole siesta in there for like 20 minutes. Like, what are you doing? Get out and like move along. I think thinking there, I gave them calcium. There were a few in the early days that were thin shell, and I had one that did not have a shell at all. I know that has a name for that, but I gave them calcium. They have the oyster shells. I saved their shells when I cooked eggs, and my parents' house they save the shells, and we bake them, grind them down, and give them back to them, and or put them in the garden. So they're getting calcium. And when I checked the shell today, that yesterday and today they broke an egg. The shell was thick. Like I look at it, it was a thick shell. It wasn't a flimsy shell. So I don't think they're pecking at it. And I think the beaks have been trimmed because I got it from a nursery, but they're thick. They're not thin. They're the eggs. They're fat and the eggs are fat. And some of the eggs are I don't know how they get them out to be honest, because one of the girls is laying some jumbo eggs. Um, but yeah, they're walking on them. That's what I think. And they're fighting. And what happens is I took a pictures on Instagram. I think I even have on YouTube. If one's in there laying, the other one will sit on her as if like move. And then she sits on it. So then that's double the weight on because she won't go into the other nesting boxes. And then she gets very upset. Ashes and did I miss something? Um I did not know dogs ate animal droppings until a couple of years ago when I went back to Jamaica. And animals, like, it seems like they're stupid, but they're not stupid. So my uncle mentioned whenever a cow calves, so has a calf. That's the wording that they use. They the calf is only drinking milk, and the dogs always eat the um the fecal matter of the animal droppings of the calf because it's milky. It's not really manure-y, it's milky. And they know, and they eat it because this, obviously the cow's not gonna let the dog milk off of her because she'll kick him down. But the dogs will eat the newborn calf between newborn to like a certain amount of weeks. And then after that, when they start being weaned, you'll find the dog won't do that anymore. The dog knows that it's like now they're eating grass, and then it's not the same. But the dog's literally running. You'll be like, boom, 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 boom. You hear all these feet like running to the field to go and like get there first before the other dogs and eat it. And then he told me why. I'm like, wow, they know that. It's like animals won't starve themselves. They will always make sure they have something. Like they're very intuitive. Gangsters don't have nothing on vets these days. I'm telling you. And then they guilt you. Oh, do you want to get blood work done first? We want her to be comfortable and give me this long speech. I said, you and I both know Sugar dead. I had to like, I said, you and I both know she's not gonna make it another month. You know that. And you want me to get blood work and lab and X. Are you mad? Yeah, you're right. The Vegas had to pay for dog hotel. That's a racket. The dog sitters in the dog hotel. Dogs are high maintenance. Yeah, that's why I said if I'm gonna get an animal, you have a job to do. That's why I got the cluck clucks, because at least they give me some eggs, and they're hilarious. Watching them from the window, they're hilarious. Um, yeah, my cat passed on. Yeah, and so I said no more pets. Well, mind you, I have chickens, but they're not really pets. $100 for grooming? No, no, no. And then yeah, making some of the food is cheaper. That's what I'm doing. And even the chicken feed that I buy, I mix it with herbs and other stuff. If you're depending on just buying something and giving it to your animals, you're you're making yourself dependent on that product, number one. And number two, if they don't have it and your dog's not used to other things, or your cat, they won't. It's very hard to switch them to other brands. That's why you have to always be mixing it up and mix two brands together and don't give them just one, because it's hard to get them off of a certain brand. Trust me, cat, especially a cat. Um, Let me see what Miss Allen's saying. My son sold it. President of the Hunt Club was my property manager. I paid all bills like it was occupied. Yeah, I think she's behind the chat, but yeah, people. Yep, people care more about their pets, and it hasn't gotten that bad that people. Well, not everybody has gotten rid of their pets, but people are gonna start getting rid of their pets because it's expensive. It's expensive. Um, Buy and cook cheap turkey to feed your dog. I like turkey as well too. So I give. Yeah, I'm telling you, make your own. Dog food. Um, Started doing in May. Chicken, pea, spinach, brown rice, carrots, and egg all mixed together. Yeah, these are things that we can eat too. People act like they only eat meat. Dogs don't just eat meat; they eat other stuff too. Okay, take care, Don Ray. Thanks for popping in. I'm just trying to catch up. I think I'm caught up. Yeah, when you make their food, you know what's in it. And the problem I find with the food is the preservatives, especially for animals, and even people food, the preservatives. So I'm trying to make sure that you can't be perfect in everything, but you're making strides to be more conscientious of what is in the food that you're eating and what you're feeding your animals. I'm trying to clean up my food system. And yeah, I had chips, but come on, we're not all perfect. But I'm trying to clean up the food, even the chips. I bought some natural ones from the store. Now those were expensive. The natural baked ones, kettle, whatever, and only natural organic seasonings. And by the time you eat that bag and you see how much you spent for that bag, it's like you can only have one chip a day. it was too expensive, so I'm gonna have to make my own chips. Worms are extra protein. It was just like chickens are funny. It's like they're playing rugby or football. One person finds something and then they run and they don't have arms, so they got to run with it in their mouth, and then they're all chasing it to get it out their mouth. Then they one other one rips it out their mouth, and then they rip it back and they're wrestling, and then she has to run and hide somewhere so she can get enough time to peck at it and get it in her system before somebody, and they're all like, it's hilarious, it's so funny. They're funny, but yeah, they love worms. We feed our dog. I'm telling you, you're Jamaican, exactly. You feed your dog turn con. People act like, oh, we don't. You only supposed to give your dog meat. Says who? Who can afford that? Hey, can't stop walking. Hey, food forest permaculture. Howie, I was saying your name, but then I said your channel name first. Um, we gotta change our mindset because animals eat whatever they gotta eat to survive. They don't care about gray poupon. Hey, drops. I haven't seen you in a long time. Wow, good to see you. Last vet bill was $805. Still waiting for an itemized bill. Farmers market, and that's another thing. I People might get upset, but I'm not one to run to the vet. We've never run to the vet, and that's probably because of our culture. We're Jamaican, vet. Who have time to go vet? And I did go a few times with the two cats, but not often. Not often, because it is an expense. But if I ever get a pet again, if I get a pet again, I'm gonna have to make sure I get the pet insurance because if you don't have the insurance, it makes it very expensive. So I will be getting pet insurance next time if I get a pet. And who knows, I just might. Farmers markets are gangster, seedless everything. Vets take 8 years to get licensed and must do free work for an I'm telling you, cornmeal, oatmeal. I know the dogs in Jamaica, they eat fruit. They love mangoes. They love naseberries. They love it. Can't be eating you can't afford that. It's kind of lifestyle. While you're on vacation at camp, meet my doggy daycare bill was $348 for 10 days. This is exactly what I'm talking about in terms of these other expenses. Like, man, that's crazy. And then it's easier to get a daycare than to bring the dog with you. Like, it's a man telling you. And I actually think it's more expensive than that than in some areas. So in I think people have paid more. And Drops is saying, been feeding chickens black beans and rice and carrots. Don't really trust. Yeah, I don't trust the feed anymore, but I haven't found a solution. I've only had chicken since April the 4th. So it's been like literally 2 months. So I'm new, but I've been researching for a year. But I've been giving them rice and peas, which is rice and beans. We call it rice and peas, but rice and beans. I get them from a restaurant. I have a restaurant, two people I know who own a restaurant, and they give me about half a bucket of food of from the pot bottom or the scraps, and I put them in the fridge, and I portion out so much every day. Today I had the last bowl to give them, and I'm gonna go get some more scraps. I mixed that with some shredded carrots, and they had liver and all kind of stuff. That's what I give them. I know what's in their eggs for the most part. Bugs, I can't speak for all the bugs that they eat, but they do get access to bugs, and they spend more time out in the run looking for bugs than sitting there pecking at the feeder. I significantly have decreased the food. They don't at nighttime, one of them eats at night, but I think it's because they bully her a lot, and sometimes she may not be getting enough food. So if I'm throwing out scratch, like I did yesterday, I threw out 3 piles of scratch so that she has a chance to get some at one of the piles. And then Pepper likes to go and take over all the piles. Like she can eat 3 meals at the same. Like they're just so rude. Anyways, to make sure that they're getting enough food. So they're all good size. She could do it with putting on a few more pounds, but they're all getting access to bugs and worms. Plus, I put down mealworms in there, throw them in there, and they have to find them. So they're doing okay with that. But yeah, I don't trust the feed. I do mix it with a lot of natural stuff, but I'm trying to find a way to incorporate more natural stuff until I can really. Oh, weeds. That's a big that's a big food source for me. Dandelions when they were in the spring, I used to throw them in the compost bag. Now it goes to them. They they eat that like to nothing. All my herbs are planted around the run and they can peck at the oregano, the mint, whatever they need, and that helps them as well. All the weeds I get, all the plants that go to seed that I don't need them all to go to seed, they get that. That has cut a lot of the costs down. All the grass clippings, like now that I'm doing it and I see how much food I have to feed them that's not quote unquote bagged feed, it's not that expensive. And once winter comes, that's where the expense is going to be for me is at the winter time. I don't have all that greenery, so my hydroponics can probably provide that or just getting scraps from the grocery store, which I have not asked them yet. I need to figure out who to ask and get some scraps from the or even a restaurant if because they do make coleslaw and stuff. I'm going to ask her to give me some of the veggie scraps separate and then the food scraps separate. But yeah, it's not I don't think I missed. Okay, da 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 da. They are getting rid of their children and letting their pets stay. Hey, broke farmer. Um, so yeah, I'm just looking at if you're not already growing your own food, first of all, or you're growing it and you're kind of like this year I scaled back, so I said, but I still have a lot of things that are still not planted. This week they have to get out in some kind of pot or something because it's just the okra is still in the seed tray and it's literally double the size. It's been raining a lot. The aphids are taking over. I'm going to go out and spray again today. Between the weather, as I said, the rain, the smoke from there's been a lot of stuff going on. The insects this year have been the aphids that is, and the whatever those black eggs are. I don't know which bug that was, some kind of moth. They're very they're ravaging the eggplants already. They're like, man. And the potato bugs are chewing through my grow bags and making their own entrance and exits. So those grow bags literally are not going to last because the bugs are chewing through them. So I'm going to not buy any more grow bags. I like grow bags and they have their place. I don't love them, but I do like them for certain plants. I'm not going to buy them anymore. The potato bugs are just killing me with chewing holes in them. I saw somebody growing mealworms. Gonna start growing. Yeah, they love it. Excellent protein. And you gotta do what you gotta do. We gotta have to do what we have to do. Well, we pretty much left YouTube and on Rumble. Oh, okay, that's why. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a long time. And I'm not on Rumble. I think did I go on Rumble? No, I didn't go on Rumble. There's another site that somebody mentioned. But yeah, I'll check it out. I haven't been on that platform. Oh, pet insurance is a scam? Man, I thought that would help pay all the expenses later on in life. Let's see here. Lay board or two on the ground for a day or two. Then, when the chickens come for feed on what you have to give them, lift the board and watch them T Rexes. I mean, because of the bugs will come up. That's what I noticed. I put something down, and they know where the worms are. They're very intuitive. They're very smart, and they're very petty. Jeez. Every time I go in there, two of them peck at my shoe, my laces, my rubber boot, anything I have on, they're pecking at my clothes. If I ever pass out in that coop or that run, and you don't hear from me, somebody come and look for me in the because they just pecking at me. Or they never pay out. Okay, that's I'm telling you. Yeah, exactly. They follow you around. They know. They know. They're quite funny to have. If you don't have chickens and you can have them, I do recommend them. I've had them for 2 months and they're just hilarious. Do you know if they can eat lemon balm? That's the one thing I have not given them because I don't have it at the back, but I think they can. The list of what they cannot eat is shorter than the list that they can eat. And I did not see lemon balm on the list because lemon balm is in the mint family, and there's 3 mints right by them that they can peck on, and they do peck on. And they peck on the parsley, the coriander. They love the cilantro. Yeah, I don't think they have a problem with lemon balm because it's in the same family as mint. And I don't remember, and I don't think Drops can say because he's been doing this a long time. I don't think it's a problem. Okay, take care, Drops. You're gonna help with the food bank. All right, take care. Um, do lemon balm. Oh, D-Mac always looks up things. She'll look it up for you. Antioxidants help improve your chicken. Yeah, I'm telling you, the amount of this herb garden challenge that Planter did helped me learn a lot more about the herbs, and even the tea I just drank today. I make my own mint, my own rosemary, and I put some basil, my own basil in there. So refreshing. That would make a good cold iced tea as well. And a lot of the herbs, when I looked them up, are excellent for your animals, not just your birds, the livestock. Antifungal, antimicrobial, antibacterial, help with their immune system, help with our immune system. So a lot of the concerns that we have with particular livestock and particular sicknesses, I'm not a vet, I'm just talking in generals. Um, it's very helpful when you give your animals access to the herbs. Okay, he said yes, they can. I know for sure. Psalms. I have lemon balm. I know they can have basil, cilantro, oregano. They can have thyme. I've given them my regular thyme, and I have lemon thyme now. I've given them dandelions. I've given them lavender. They love lavender. I've also given them uh, lilac bush. They love the lilac bush, and also it's good for humans and them. It's also antimicrobial, antifungal. You can make humans can make a tea with it. You can make lilac sugar and an infusion. They love the lilac bush. I would cut big limbs off of it, throw it in there, and I'll come back and just see it's just nothing. It was excellent. They haven't been sick as far as I can see. They had some diarrhea here and there, but for the most part, I haven't had a problem. Those things help with deworming. They're natural dewormers and parasite killers because they are going to have parasites and worms. But as long as they're passing them out, you're fine. So make sure you have a lot, even in their dry food. In their dry food, I'm mixing the dry parsley, the dry rosemary, the dry oregano. I'm mixing in their dry food red pepper flakes. They don't taste it. Chickens don't have a taste for heat. That helps kill the parasites in their body. These are natural ways that we can keep our animals healthy and not be relying on a vet. If we can do more preventative, then that would make our life a lot easier. Okay, take care, she said. No problem. I gotta go to my garden too. I'm behind in planting. Um, I'm telling you, when you start realizing how powerful these herbs are, and you're thinking, what? If I just drink some natural tea every day, put some herbs in my food when I'm cooking, eat them raw in my salads if at all possible. Certain things you can eat raw. When you're in the garden, just take a piece of something and start chewing on it. You don't have to chew gum for your breath. I just take a mint leaf, rinse it off, and then just chew the mint when I'm in the garden. It's more beneficial and it works much better. When we start changing what we're relying on and stop running to the pharmacy for everything and start, you know, using what's in our backyard or growing what we need, your whole mind just shifts. I'm telling you. And the tea that I'm drinking, I haven't been sick yet. Thank God. I had some congestion this morning, but it hasn't been bad because I used to get some bad sinus infections that would knock me out. Haven't had a problem. So the Bible says the herbs are for the healing of the nations. And whether you believe in scripture or not is irrelevant. The point is the herbs are for the healing of the nations and they are healing. But you need to be consistently taking them. That's our problem. Cut out the chips, even though I had chips, cut out that stuff and regularly, have things that you're drinking. Have your tea twice a day. Have if you're gonna have coffee, natural organic coffee. If you're gonna, there's other options that for coffee that taste like coffee, but they're not. I'm telling you, I'm trying to be more natural in how I raise my animals and what I eat myself. And the more you start delving deeper and you start finding information, it's right there, but people are so afraid and we're so programmed to go to the store and trust what they're selling. No. Make your own food for your animals if possible, or like a balance of both. But they're not eating the food. They love it. When I come out, they're running to the door. They want to know what I have. They prefer that food, real food that I eat, versus those crumbles that they have. And I know people say, they have to have so much, so much. Well, I'm giving them the food to get their protein, get their balance of vitamins, but they don't want it. That's telling me something. They prefer to have the food that I'm cooking and the bugs and the insects and whatever else they're finding out there. Maybe we had it wrong. Something that we're doing, we had it wrong. And I think we're believing too much of the hype and the propaganda. But anyways, enough of me. I've been here for the 2 hours. Hey, Fifi. Um, but I am enjoying the gardening season. I am enjoying it this season, but I am irritated with the bugs. So I'm just gonna have to figure out how to balance. My indoor garden pretty much is gonna be finished and gone because I have to figure out where these aphids are coming from. If they're coming through like I don't know where they're coming from, or I haven't gotten rid of them completely, but they got to go. And I found lemongrass at a garden center. They didn't buy me one. My dad went and didn't buy me one. He forgot that I wanted it too. So I'm going to go there and get the lemongrass plant. I'm not sure if it can overwinter in the garage. If not, I'm going to have to rinse off the roots and plant it indoors, which I really don't want to do. But I don't want to not have it because we have not seen lemongrass in the garden center for at least 3 seasons. So I don't want to be stuck and not have lemongrass. I love lemongrass tea. It's also a lot of healing benefits, so look that up yourself. Yeah. Some of you have been in the garden and listen to me babble, but I'm done. I'm going to go plant some stuff. I am behind in planting stuff, and I also have no more room. So I'm going to have to go buy some totes because I removed a bed, and I was going to buy a nice bed, like the metal bed. But now that I'm looking at the price and all, I'm like, I'm just going to buy some totes from Costco, drill some holes, and put that as the bed for a couple of seasons until I buy another bed. I got some lemongrass. Yeah, lemongrass is very good. I love lemongrass. My lemongrass is scented. The last person I spoke to, which was an alive Brampton, said that a lot of people in her group, I guess a planting group, could not get the lemongrass to do anything from seed. And the only thing that they could do was get the ones from the Asian store and propagate it. They could not get anything to happen with the seed. So she said, don't even bother. So I probably will bother just to try it. But in terms of me needing it now, oh, yours. Okay, good. I'm not gonna waste time doing it from listen, this herb garden challenge, that rosemary. Some of y'all need to look at the pack of your seeds and how long it takes. Rosemary said 365 days. So when you go to the store and buy your rosemary, don't complain about the price. You know how long it took them to get that rosemary to be a plant for you to buy it? And I bought one more lavender plant, which is not planted in the ground yet, and it looks like it's dying already. It's very temperamental with too much water, not enough water. So I'm going to plant that in the ground ASAP, but I'm going to go buy that lemongrass. Thank you, Fifi. I will overwinter mine in the garage because it probably dies back, but it doesn't die. Okay, I know my mint died back. My lemongrass is coming back this year. I did not put it in the garage. I regret that because I don't have much growth. My mint, I did not overwinter. Again, I regret that as well. I thought it would be fine. It's taking forever to grow. So I will be overwintering those back in the garage because I would have had a big plant by now. I started lemongrass seeds weeks ago. Yeah. Brampton says she's tried She had several people in her planting group try, people who've been growing and are good at growing, and they couldn't get it going. So my rosemary I have from last year, but it's not growing. I just pruned it the other day, hoping. I think if you prune it back, it'll be okay. That's right. If it dies back and goes dormant, yeah, that's the problem. We did not put it in the garage, and the roots, obviously, you know where I live, they died. So my mint grew back faster when I put it in the garage. Lemon balm is in the mint family. Lemon balm, telling you, excellent for tea. And I got lemon thyme now. Can't wait to have that in my tea. Rosemary over here for me, even in the garage. I don't know, man. I overwater it probably. That's my problem. Oh, you're back. That's Monique. So, yeah, check your packs. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but lemongrass, I was told this growing it from seed takes too long and it's just not working. So buy some starts. If you can't get starts, which I could not, but now I can, go to the Asian store and buy the lemongrass and then just propagate it, put it in water and let it get roots and propagate it. If you want lemongrass. There's no point of I like to try, I do, but sometimes you have to also say, listen, I don't got 365 days to waste on one plant. Like, it's a lot of work and time to have it in the perfect conditions. So just go buy your plant and still do it from seed, but go buy a couple of plants or go to the store, because you're going to be sitting there waiting, and it's like frustrating yourself. I always hold on. I'm winding it down though. I planted rosemary and lemongrass from seed this year for the first time. It was a struggle because I started in February. Okay, my rose, my herb garden chill, everything dead, and finally washed everything. And the other unit I emptied out. Got fed up with the aphids, and this unit right there looking at me. I'm gonna wash everything with soap and water, and I'm gonna juice that fennel. I'm just gonna make a green juice by a honeydew melon, and just drink it down. And I'm cleaning that up. I'm done. I had enough. I have to start back fresh when I have a better mindset and a better attitude. When you got an attitude about the plants, I don't think they're gonna do well. I've always had to buy rosemary plants from the nursery and grow outside, trying to overwinter them in the house. Yeah, I tried, and they do well for a while, and then they start. I'm like, I put a glass of water in the room to add humidity for them to suck the water from the air, like in nature, and they don't like it. Maybe they need a fan and some fresh. I don't know. I don't know. Remember, I'm in Ontario. It's different. Not like I'm in a warmer climate. I got my lemongrass starts at Home Depot online for a while. Yeah, I'm telling you, I haven't seen lemongrass here for several seasons, and I've been asking different stores. No, no, no. I don't know what happened. Maybe they lost the supplier, but no lemongrass. Now that we saw it, they bought it for themselves and forgot all about me. I'm like, what? So I'm gonna go drive there now and go get it. And I actually had to take off my snow tires. They're still on my car. The guy is supposed to come, and I'm the one who just doesn't text him and say, okay, come now. I'm just being slack. So Monday, them snow tires need to come off my car. I think I see that takes I think I see that takes the longest to grow, or the seed from seed is coffee bean. Apparently, it takes 4 to 6 months to germinate. Yeah, I ain't got that kind of time. I ain't got that kind of time. I will buy a coffee tree or a coffee plant, which I know they do, and versus doing things from seed. I like growing from seed. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not. But I know my climate. I know my grow zone has a short growing season. It's gonna have to require me in the house and monitor. So you know what? Just buy the tree, buy the plant. And my new fig tree came yesterday, which is the brown turkey fig. So that arrived yesterday finally. That one is short, but it has a lot of leaf on it. The other one that I got, the Desert King that was delivered, was a long stick. So now it's starting to bud. And the Chicago Hardy, I transplanted that right away because the pot that it came in was really too small. That one is leafing out nicely. And my original fig, which is the Violetto Bordeaux, some of the stems, the fruit fell off, first of all. due to I'm saying irregular watering, most likely. I did not know that they like to be watered so much. I just bought the trees and didn't really, research fully. So I'm watering it regularly. It's been raining every day. The fruit fell off. The chickens ate that. They were fighting over that, even though it's like a sponge. They ate it, and the limbs, some of the limbs got damaged when I brought it outside, and the frost hit it. Even though it's frost hardy, it wasn't outside. It was in the garage. So the plants are going to go in the garage again in the wintertime. These are all cold hardy for the most part, but when you have things in pots, from what I was told and I actually believe, they're not going to be as resistant to the cold. If it's in the ground and getting established, then yes. But I don't have time to not that I don't have time. I have no intention of putting them in the ground here. That would be something I put in the ground when I get that piece of land. Then I'll put them in the ground. But as it stands right now, them figs are going to be in containers. I know, some people want trees to be in the ground. That's not the plan. I'm going to keep them in containers. I'm going to propagate them once I figure that out and make more trees, but they're coming with me. I'm not going to put them in the ground and dig them up. I'm I'm not doing that. I'm planning on accelerating. Oh, thanks, Broke. Accelerating my plan to get a piece of land, and I'm not going to even put them in the ground. They're staying right in the pot. It has to harden off. Yeah, they have to harden off. So the new leaves are coming out. There's new shoots coming out, so they're gonna be okay. I have Chicago Hardy, but the leaves when they come out smell like cat piss. I don't smell anything. I think my fig might get the experience a Canadian winter this year. I I don't bring them in the house, so I've never smelt anything. But you know what? I recently read that fig leaves are very powerful for healing and make a good tea. So maybe if you make a tea, mix it with another plant leaf, it might help. But I never knew that smelled like. I never knew that. I put them in the garage. My lemon tree from last year, I said I want to put in the ground this weekend. It's not growing in the pot. Same size since. I don't know about citrus, but I know there's a person online called Organics Best, I think. I came upon his channel. Give me a second. Yeah, I think it's Organics Best. He's on Instagram and something, and he knows about citrus and he seems to be, and he has them in containers and they do well. I think it's the fertilizer and the feed he gives them and the watering schedule, and maybe you have to get a bigger pot. But let me just confirm. Hold on. Instagram. Let me find his video and then I'm gonna forward it to you right now while I remember. Because I know I have you on the gram. So yeah, I'm gonna send you and I'll send you any video from him and then you can just find um him. Okay. And I think he's on YouTube. I think he has some old videos on YouTube as well and talking more about citrus. But yeah, I sent you that on Instagram, Triple, so you can just find his thing and then um he grows a lot of trees in containers. I know I watched him his videos. He has land somewhere else and he has things in the ground, but in his urban environment, he grows things in containers. Some things are in ground, but not most things are in containers. And it's my throat. I know he mentioned he uses soil mix that's for orchids or something, a particular soil. I don't know. Oh, so you guys are still talking. I was looking down, so let me see what I missed. What's your growing zone? Brooks asking. He says I wouldn't put it in the ground. I have my citrus in containers and they are doing okay. Just a slow grow. Yeah. And just make sure you're feeding it properly. Oh yes, I made a video harvesting leaves from my fruit trees and made teas. We have so much natural. I'm telling you, the leaves are more powerful than the fruit is what I'm realizing from all the information. Oh yeah, that tea would be great. You can spray your perimeter with that. Um, try 511 potting mix and ascomate oscomate fertilizer. Okay. And all my citrus are in 20-gallon containers, growing and fruiting. Bigger is always better. Hey, Unicorn Lady Tech. Yeah, it's all about the fertilizing of the containers. That's all I can tell you. And I'm gonna take a note of what Broke said. I don't know if I've seen that in the stores, but they can't get their feed from anywhere else. You have to be constantly giving them what it needs in a container. So it's a commitment, it is, but it's worth it because some of these trees are not part of your grow zone and you're able to grow things because it's in a container and you can overwinter them. I did 511, but not whatever that is. But I will buy some. And I don't know. I just recently bought the more bloom. I don't know what it's for, what it's not for, but I just bought because I know growing out the box likes that for his stuff, and his garden looks like it's popping. So I'm trying it. It's natural, and I also now have chicken manure, but I can't use it yet. I'll use the chicken manure to feed my. Yeah, I don't have it yet because I have to wait the 6 months. But my chicken manure is going to be popping soon. Banana water. I don't know, but just yeah, as long as you're giving it what it needs, you can succeed. It's a commitment. But I think it's worth it. Citrus trees, I'm telling you, the leaves from the citrus tree. When you talk to all these herbalists and they make tea, it's more potent. And you know how good lemon water is, how much it cleans and makes your body alkaline. I'm telling you, go up times the size of the original container. Only go up 3 times the size of. Okay, I had a citrus tree. Mine's dead, so I'm taking a break from that right now. But I am looking for the one that Broke mentioned, the Japanese line that's supposed to be cold hardy. If I can get my hands on something that's cold hardy, I'm gonna give that a try. And yeah, manure, chicken manure, rabbit manure. My friends, I told her, I talked to her yesterday. I said, listen, make sure you're stirring up the manure from the rabbit because I'm waiting for my next delivery. That has done that bed very good. My radishes are bulbing. I am going to give it some liquid feed now. Take care, juicing with Jay. I'm finally going to end it, um, and giving it what it needs. I'm natural for the most part, but not 100%. I'm not gonna, but I do use leaves. I'm using banana. I'm doing as much natural stuff, but I am testing some fertilizer, and I did get my hands on a small amount of bone meal. I've never used it. I don't believe I even need it, but I'm just going to test it out on a couple of plants that I didn't plant outside yet. I have 3 red cabbages. So one of them, I will try the bone meal. I'll try it on the smallest one that's looking a little weak. And the other ones, I've been using alfalfa pellets because I have it for my chicken feed. I mix it with their feed. It's very high in protein and minerals, which is another thing I give my girls. So they're not relying on just the chicken feed. And it's excellent for your plants. It gives your soil nutrients, and that's natural. You can plant alfalfa if you'd like and chop and drop. It's like how you do comfrey, but I got the pellets. It's not expensive. It's very affordable, and that's what I'm doing. So most of my stuff, I would say maybe 80% natural, but I am doing a test. Hey GT, I am testing 20% just to see. Um, Now when it comes to bone meal and buying it, I I wouldn't buy it. If I'm raising my own meat birds, which is going to happen one day, and the carcasses and the scraps and stuff, I will be drying that out and grinding it up and making my own bone meal. If it's something that I'm doing from start to finish on my own land, I have no problem using it. To me, that is natural and that is organic. When you're having to go purchase it now, that's where you're kind of opening the door for additives and whatever else to be added to the item. And you can't really swear that it's organic. But when it comes to something that I do on my land from start to finish, I will be using bone meal when I'm raising my own animal. I will be using blood meal because when I'm butchering, I'm going to put that back into the land. That just goes without saying. That's what I'm going to be doing. And you can't tell me that's not natural. If I'm fishing on my own land and I put the bones in the ground, that is natural and organic. It's just I'm in control of it from start to finish. I'm going to try some bone meal. I've never used it before. I don't think I need it, but I'm just going to test and see how it works and if it helps and if I see any difference between a plant producing with bone meal, as well as I'm doing it with the alfalfa and I'm doing it with just leaves and rabbit manure and seeing what's really giving me the best results. All of them are good, but I'm going to figure it out and see for myself. I want to experiment on my own plants and see what's going on. But thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. I'm going to go and plant some stuff, go pick up the lemongrass, and go fry me an egg, and just enjoy the rest of my day. Today is the chat. Yeah, the chat is today on Nikki's channel, I believe. Yeah, because last week it was Hands in the Dirt. Yeah, so this week is Nikki's channel, 7 p.m. The chat, Miss Ellen Pankey, I think is going live today at 6 Eastern time. I'm talking about. Um, Yeah, the bone meal was $2 for something. Some clearance warehouse, trust me. And you know it's clearance. The thing was full of so much dust. They didn't even dust off the packaging. My God. So it's dirt cheap. That's the only reason why I bought it. Yeah, I'm leaving GT. I gotta go. I gotta get some stuff in the ground, man. And so Ellen Pankey is on at 6. I believe Broke Farmer is on Sunday. I think it's every Sunday. Uh but I think he's on tomorrow about 3 p.m. Eastern time, give or take. Um, and other people are on, but Sunday I'm not really on YouTube as much as you all know. I'm kind of just laying low and chilling, but I do pop into some people's here and there. Um, So, and tomorrow's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers. So most likely he probably will not be live. So cancel that. I don't think Broke is going live tomorrow at all. Just remember he's probably going to be having family time. So yeah, you probably won't see most people on tomorrow. Just got back from Costco. I gotta head to Costco too, Canadian. Um and I gotta are you in Ottawa, Canadian again? You're in Ottawa, right? I'm ending, but let me just ask a question. Because I was talking, my whole life was about camping and how expensive it is. I don't know if you know any locations that camping and or cheap or I don't know, off gridding or whatever. Let me know. Put it in the comments after the video. Stittsville. Oh, you're not far. I don't think it's far. Hold on, let me Google that. Stittsville's not far. Oh, I see Fat Guy with Guns went live. So I think they're at the range. But yeah, Stittsville. Okay, you're not far. Ottawa's not that far. Ottawa's like a 4-hour drive. Yeah. So, but yeah, we're up to the Ottawa. Okay. Nobody cares about Father's Day. No, we're having a family day. We're having a family meal tomorrow. We're chilling. But happy Father's Day, which also includes grandfathers. A happy day to all of you all. Enjoy your day with your family. And I'll see you next week, God willing. I'm trying to do a pop up. I'm trying to do some recording, but you know how that goes, man. I'm trying to get the stuff in the ground as well. And be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. I know it's hard because sometimes you want to tell off somebody. I told somebody this week. So, but be kind to yourself and be kind to others and set your boundaries. I'm near Morin Heights. I'm going to check that. Hold on 1 second. But I'm done, guys. Drop your links. #urban while I'm sitting here closing off. Drop your links so people can find you. Morin Heights. Town in Quebec. I haven't been to Quebec. I've been to a few things like Montreal and other places, but not really. But I am looking over there because there's some land on the other side of Ontario, which is near the Quebec, which some of it's actually in Quebec. So I am looking over there. So you guys got a lot of land. Let me zoom out to see exactly where it is. Parc de Montloup Garou. Okay, I zoomed in. I zoomed in so much that I can't even see more. Val Davis, Saint. Okay, I see Mirabel. I see Saint Eustache, Jerome, Saint Jerome. Mont Tremblant is way far. Let me zoom back in. So you are near kind of Adele. Saint Adele. Yeah, okay. I know Saint Jerome. Just from the okay. So you're not far. You're not far from Canadian either, because he's in Ottawa. You're not too maybe 5 6 hours maybe, give or take. Just looking at the map. Yeah, it's not out of the way. FR. Okay, I'm ending, but be kind. Yes, be kind to others. Drop your link. Hashtag urban. I'll see you next week. I don't think I have anything next week. I forgot to talk to you about first aid. What I learned at the first aid class. So I'll mention that next week. Um, just what's going on in the first aid training community, and it's concerning as well, because the staffing is not there, and when you guys say no one's coming to save you, that's becoming a present reality. But we'll talk about that next week. I've had several family friends with hundreds of acre. See, that's the thing. If you know somebody who has land, lots of places to go if you need it. So we are okay. You have lots, man. I'm going to get some land. I am about 2 hours to Ottawa and 1.5 hours to Montreal, depending on traffic. Okay, so yeah, you're not that far out. I still got family in Montreal, but not as much. They're moving back to Ontario. When you don't speak French, it's difficult. That's why they got older, had to move so they can communicate with their doctors and the hospitals better. How long you lived in Canada? Forever. From the time they left England and came to Canada. My family left Jamaica to England first. That's it was still a British colony. Didn't have to have all these different rules and stuff, which is what happened with the Windbush era, and a lot of people problems with that. And then a lot of the British subjects came to Canada because it was part of the colony. Quebec has been weird since pandemic yeah. So have a great day, everybody. I'll see you next week, and we'll talk about first aid training, and just what's happening in Ontario. That is, I can't speak for all of Canada, but with the emergency system, calling 911, and what people are experiencing, and how important it is. So take care, and I'll see you next week.